And that could be why efforts to promote a start-up culture in this country have so far been met with limited success. But current technology shifts and market trends are creating unique opportunities for Australian entrepreneurs. So how healthy is our start-up ecosystem and what can we do to improve it? Well, joining me now is author and entrepreneur Jana Matthews, and she's currently the director of the ANZ Innovyz START program, which seeks to help entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time. Let's start by talking about the start-up culture in Australia at the moment and how healthy it is. What do you think?
Yes. I've come here from Boulder, Colorado, which is extremely healthy. So I'll be measuring against one of the the gold standard, if you will, in terms of entrepreneurial communities. But I've been attracted to Australia because I think there's incredible technology and innovation. There's a good group of entrepreneurs, and they're all excited, and we have a fair amount of energy on the startup side. But the creation of the eco-culture and the ecosystem also requires advisors, consultants, accountants, and a lot of people understand how to grow companies, and we're a little weak on that. So I'm doing my best to see if I can help on that
Okay,
score.
so that's the people involved, but do you think a lot of it comes down to risk-taking and the appetite for risk here in Australia? Is it not high enough?
We do have less risk-taking on the side of investors. They would rather invest their money in mining and financial services than startup companies.
Yes.
And I'd like to change that, if I may, because I think we need to support our own in Australia, not send them off to the U.S. to get financing. So understanding, I think part of the risk issue is understanding what the issues are and being able to assess which companies have opportunities. And those that are coming out of programs like our ANZ Innovyz START, I think, give investors a much better opportunity to find really good scrubbed companies that are worthy of investment.
So let's talk about the program and exactly what it offers. Can you talk us through it? It is sponsored by ANZ.
It is sponsored by ANZ, one of the only bank I know in the world that's doing something like this. We have applicants who apply from all over the country, all over the world. Actually, we had 12 countries this time. The first program we had 17 countries apply, 132 applications.
Yes.
This time we've had 12 countries. We're just in the process now of selecting, and we have an amazing crop of Australian entrepreneurs as well that we'll be selecting and announcing hopefully later this week.
Okay, and when you look at around the world, I guess Silicon Valley is seen as the startup mecca, isn't it? But places like Israel also have a really strong startup culture. That's not a place that I would have sort of linked up with that kind of idea. When you look around the world, what are the key aspects that create that culture?
The key aspects are other entrepreneurs who have grown companies, who are doing it again, who are coming back, investing both their time and their knowledge. And so you have a virtuous cycle of people. We have a large enough group that you can select from in terms of your executive team, where you have bankers and lawyers and accountants that understand what growth is all about. It's like having a baby is very different from being a parent.
Yes.
You can do a lot of startups, but actually growing the startup requires a different set of skills and knowledge.
Okay, so you need the funding. What about government grants?
Government grants are very helpful. Government has a major role to play. But entrepreneurships and the whole concept of growing ecosystems actually needs to be led by entrepreneurs. They're the ones that know what they need. But the government's very useful in terms of grants like Commercialization Australia grants for commercializing innovation. Also, there's some matching grants they could do in terms of financing and funding. But the big thing government can do is education. There's a role that government plays. And we don't let people drive cars without being educated. And why do we let them start companies without some kind of education on how to start and grow a company?
So I guess what would be some of your tips for the tech startups out there in Australia that are looking to raise cash and grow?
Right. Well, the first is to make sure you have a team. It's not all about a single person. Obviously have a great breakthrough idea, no question about that. Make sure that you surround yourself with advisors and people who've actually grown companies. Be in a constant state of learning and understand that your company will go through stages of growth and you yourself need to change your roles and responsibilities as the company grows.
Okay, Jana Matthews, thank you so much for joining us up here. We do appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, well, that wraps up Tech Report for today. I'm Kate Williams. Thanks so much for your company. We'll see you again soon.